I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I would like to welcome Penny Starlight. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello. I am Penny Starlight, also known as Sesame. I am a Twitch streamer, former YouTuber, kind of, and artist, game dev. I do a lot of things. I generally just stream on Twitch like a couple times a week, generally. I play a bunch of old games, bunch of stuff on my backlog. Whatever interests me, basically. I don't really have a set thing that I try and go for, or like a set theme. I just a variety streamer, I suppose, would be a good term for that.
Yeah. You get thrown in the variety section.
Yes.
We'll sort it out later. We're just going to enjoy what you're doing.
Thank you.
So you already start. You're not going to get away with just throwing off the artist and the game developer thing, and then me not noticing. So I'm going to ask you about it.
All right.
Artistry. What type of art do you do? How long have you been doing it?
All right. Well, I have been drawing for about 6 years, I'd say. It's kind of funny how I got my start with that. Basically, I was in some a lo-fi hip hop chat at 5 in the morning on YouTube. And it wasn't even the main one, the one with the lo-fi girl or whatever.
Right.
It wasn't that one. It was a different one. And it was 5 in the morning, and I just was just talking in the live chat, and there were some people, or there was a person that was talking about some of their drawings and stuff, and then I basically got to talking with them a little bit. They linked their Discord or something. I spoke to them a little bit, and they had all this their DeviantArt, their YouTube and stuff, and I was like, whoa, that's really cool. I want to be like you. And that's kind of how I got started with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was 2019, so I was very, very young.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have been talking to random people back then, just in live chat, but
yes,
it worked out.
The statute of limitations has expired. You're okay with that, and so are they, probably, and depends on what state they're in.
Yeah, I think they were actually overseas, given what time it was in the morning. But they, I didn't only spoke to them for a couple weeks, but they still got that little spark in me to start drawing. So I drew for a few months. Then I just put a pin in it. It was I'll do this later because school was starting back up.
Yeah.
The year after, I had kind of gotten into a small friend group, and a person by the name of Krabby Nutcase on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
She was a friend of mine at the time, and she also still does art. But back then, she would post some of her stuff in the group chat, and I'd be like, "Whoa,
yeah,
that's really cool."
Yeah.
And that got me to pick up drawing again. Did that for a bit longer, and then the year after, in 2021, I picked up digital art, and have been kind of doing that ever since. So it's more of been a 4-year period that I've been doing it nonstop, but that's kind of where I got my start with drawing. And
I gotta ask you, speaking to a very talented person from a completely untalented art person, because I cannot draw nothing. I cannot.
Well, people have their own talents and stuff. I mean, I've seen that you do 600 plus interviews in a niche community, and that's got to take some talent of its own, doing all the organizing and all that stuff. So
talent,
don't sell yourself short.
Talent or an insane mind, one of the two, but probably both, because they kind of go hand in hand sometimes.
That's very true.
Yes, but the changeover from art on the physical art to the art on the computer, was it easy for you to make that changeover, or was it hard to figure out how it worked?
Oh, so much easier
Huh.
because um I I don't have like a whole lot of money to my name, so it's just like back then I had like really basic like school pencils basically
Mm-hmm.
from like Amazon, and erasing lines and stuff would just leave these huge like gray or dark smudges on the paper,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't for the life of me get them off. It was awful. And I hated that. I hated like not having something to like just like a basic reference or something. So I'd have to use like my phone or
Yeah.
like my laptop or something at the time to use as like pull from reference, but I wasn't very I was still developing those skills of eyeballing it. If I
Mm.
went back now, the proper tools, they'd probably be a little better, but I don't wanna because like I love digital art. I
Yeah.
love the freedom that kind of like having different layers gives me and
Mm.
working and all that. Just my
Yeah.
workflow is just like really refined.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the folks that make Krita, which is a drawing program. Great work that they do.
Yeah.
Fucking love that program. Is swearing allowed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no worries here. No worries here.
Okay, cool.
I'm far too old
I
for you
should
to.
have asked that in advance.
I'm far too old for you to throw anything at me that I haven't used on the golf course, uh, at least
Fair
once.
enough.
But the one other thing that's really good about this, about having the computerized, is the undo button.
Oh, definitely.
You talk about having all the smudges. Well, the undo button can, because if you spill something on it, you can't undo it in if it's sitting on your lap.
I'd say about a good half of the time that I spend working now on drawings is basically just I do one line and I'm not happy with it, and then I immediately press the undo button. So it's just like a repetitive motion of I draw a line, I press the undo key, draw, undo, and it's just like I repeat that until I get the line. Sometimes I will get the perfect line and I'll instinctively undo and then draw the next line. So then I can't go back 2 steps. So it's just gone forever. And I'm just like, fuck. And then now I can't get it back. But I don't gotta worry about that when I'm doing stuff like graphic design.
Mm,
I I do that all with the mouse because I generally do stuff that's like a little bit more a little less like loose or
mm,
like hand drawn with that because you want those like really sharp edges and stuff, and that's easier to do if you just draw
right.
shapes and stuff with the mouse or something.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, get, as I've got older, and I'm going to be 60 this year, so no things there. Um,
Oh wow, okay.
yeah, I'm an old guy. Um, I told you I was crazy. I'm crazy and old. It's a great thing to be these days. Um,
I mean, hey, my parents are even older than that, so you're fine.
yeah, it's a I'm getting used to talking to a lot of people who are at least less than half my age.
Fair enough. I
It's
mean, it keeps your prospects of like, what the world is like kind of open, You don't become so
oh
jaded and closed-minded talking
yeah,
to all these
yeah,
people.
absolutely. I mean, it's just this I do a whole nother thing on what talking to so many different people and different backgrounds and such will do to somebody as far as their outlook for stuff. Maybe I'll just do that one day. I don't know. But
Yeah,
my
I
but
encourage that.
I've got a little bit of a shake to my hand sometimes on the mouse. Um, Either left or right-handed. I'm amb ambidextrous. I drop things with
Fair
both
enough.
hands. And that would make it really tough for me to do anything with the mouse. But I don't know. Maybe with a stylus or something along those lines, it'd be a little different. It would be a whole
Yeah, I
nother
mean,
level of bad.
they got stabilizers and stuff built into a lot of programs now, so
Mm,
that kind of helps smooth like lines drawn and
yeah,
stuff like that. So it's a little bit more it cleans it up for you because
yeah,
if you have it like all the stabilizers are turned off, everything is just like raw input.
yeah.
It does look a little shaky, even if you've got like surgeon hands. So,
It looks like
yeah,
that old home movies show that used to be on cartoon. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Well, if you get if
that
you get
sounds familiar though.
if you
That
look
sounds
at
familiar.
if you look at the early episodes of home movies they did on Cartoon Network, they did it with something called Squiggle Vision, which is shaky, but it gets the job done. But they calm it down
Oh.
later. That's what I would look like, except it would look like big blobs of nothing. Um, the so being an artiste, uh,
Hmm.
obviously you're probably never quite satisfied with what you're doing.
That's true.
Yeah, it's not a shame. It's just a fact.
That's true.
It,
Yeah, that's a verified fact.
yeah. So, but does that make it even tougher when you've got the computer program going and you say you've taken out what you've wanted on occasion just by reflex?
Yeah, it's it's really tough having that like perfectionist mindset because you want to keep like 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 you'll get like a day's work done. Like you spent like 3 or 4 hours or something in your
Hmm.
program. It's like, oh hey, I've got this done. And you look at it, you step back, and it's like, wow, this is shit. And then you want to just wipe the canvas clean and start again. And you know you can't do that because you have to put out something at some point.
Yep. Yep.
If
Yep.
you want to do stuff, you got to put it out at some point. So there's this like kind of internal thing you got to battle with where it's just like just get it out there. And like I mean that's not necessarily as I've gotten a little older, it's not necessarily a bad thing to
No,
be
it's not.
not perfectly happy with it because it
Yeah.
gives you stuff to keep working on,
Yeah.
and it gives other people insight into um like, oh, what works, what doesn't, what can I, do better than this person. And I think um the most important thing I'd say of being an artist is I think you should inspire people around you
Mm,
to make things that are uh like going to be better than what you make. Where it's like you inspire someone, say I make something really cool, right? One
right.
day,
Yeah.
and then someone's like, "Wow, that thing that Penny made is so cool. I want to do better than her." And then they like psychoanalyze me and my works to like a science and break down everything
They,
and
they bring out
work
their
out every single break down like every single little flaw in my art
the
style and the way that I do
forensics.
things.
The forensics unit comes
Yeah,
out and takes DNA tests about how it works.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And like then they go and make something that's really, really cool.
Mm,
And then somebody who's inspired by them repeats the cycle.
yeah.
That's how it's always been. We're always learning from each other.
Hmm.
Um, and that's kind of just what I want to do at this point is just like I want to get other people to make cool shit and to express themselves in their
Well, I mean,
life experiences and stuff.
well, by doing this, I mean, coming on and showing your talents and showing what you're able to do, folks, it's almost automatically, you would hope, going to be some sort of a inspiration for somebody. I would think. Um,
I hope so, yeah.
yeah, I would hope anyway. Uh, and I think everybody's got who's on the net is got some type of talent that they're showing off. Some people, like yourself, have more than one and hog all of them, and I only get maybe one. Um, but the
I do needing to learn to share, it seems.
I know I just learned it. I need to learn how to steal better.
That's true. We need to have a pickpocketing class in school, I reckon.
I was in I was in radio. We lived off free stuff because we weren't going to get paid anything. So if it was free peanuts, we lived off that for a week. That's how we dealt with it. Um, but the for you getting getting involved in art now, getting to be better and better, and you're taking commissions now, aren't you?
I will be opening emergency commissions pretty soon because I gotta move.
Ah,
And I I had this uh like a goal on Kofi. It's almost met.
mm,
But it's still like not enough, and I feel bad about just begging for money without giving people something in return. So I'm just gonna be like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna open up emergency comms. If you want like a drawing or something, I can do that.
yeah.
And then it's a way for me to get what I want and also not feel guilty about it because I feel awful for like asking people things. I shouldn't, I know that, but it's
Well,
a thing in my brain.
it's you humble yourself when that happens, and that's not easy to do.
Yeah, yeah.
In that situation. But the big thing is when you get a chance to pay back, you do. And
Hmm.
I don't think that's a big. I can't imagine you not doing that. Just this little talk I've had with you, that you would want to contribute in that way. The way you talked about wanting to inspire other people to do other things, and do and improve on themselves, already shows me the type of person that you want to be, and how you want to present yourself here on the net.
Well, thank you.
Have you found it easy to present yourself the way you want as a VTuber?
Um, I would say it's been, I'd say, easier than most because I don't really do like a whole lot of, what's the term, kayfabe, where it's like you put on that mask and
Yeah.
you like almost play like a WWE character where you're almost like a completely different person than who you are in real life.
Right.
I just kind of play up like a couple traits of myself. Like I play up the mischief a little bit
Yeah.
of stuff that I do for stream.
Yeah.
I get a little silly. Um, I I'll make some like lewd or crass jokes or things like that. Like a little more frequently than I do normally, which already is fairly frequent. I'm sure I'll age out of that at some point. Um, but yeah, it's been pretty easy just given the fact of just like I know me and what I want out of like a I guess an online representation of myself, and it
Hmm.
was just like, oh hey, I figure uh it's I've got it a little easier than other people who have to have like, you know, they have to be 100% in character, they have to be
Hmm.
them like not themselves, and they kind of almost develop this like dissociation maybe like with their audience. I'm kind of scared of that.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
um
Yeah. I can understand that.
I,
Right. Yeah. It's been easier for you to. I'm kind of paraphrasing and adding a couple things up here. So if I'm wrong, let me know. Um,
mhm.
it's been easier for you to connect with your chat and your audience because you are very comfortable with the person you present yourself to be.
Pretty much, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah. It does. If you, I would think, because I'm not a VTuber, I'm not going to be. I'm just Joe Radio guy. Um,
Mhm.
the that provides an almost um everybody around the campfire type of feeling. You know that it's more that you're not putting on anything for them. They're not putting anything on for you. Everybody's around the same table.
Yeah, like I want things to be very like cozy and relaxed because like I've only got like maybe 110 followers or something like that. It's a pretty small,
Well,
like
now, but
with
later
the
you'll.
followers, like you think, oh, there'd be a lot of people that show up. It's probably just like maybe five or six, seven.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually just friends of mine,
Mm-hmm.
so it's generally pretty cozy, and I
Yeah.
happen to like that a fair bit because um I don't know, I like just being able to, because I don't play games enough.
Mm-hmm.
I am too busy thinking about um like how to make them, I guess,
Yeah.
to actually get time to play new stuff and figure out like, oh, let's see what this person's idea of what a game is.
Yeah.
So when I do get a chance to play a game, it's really fun because I get to have what basically is my friends with me while I play it, because there isn't a whole lot of an audience that's built up that I don't know yet.
Yet.
I'm in a unique situation where I'm basically just streaming for my friends.
Yeah. Well, so far, and things. I think that that everything is there for it to take off and grow the however you want it in the future. And I'll talk about goals and stuff in a bit, but I'm going to get to the gameplay things because you're said that you're not only an artist but a game developer. So when you get one of these games, um, does it affect how you enjoy playing the games, knowing where you're coming from as an artist and a game developer? Do you see something in these games, if something like it's really bad art or something, you're like, oh, I don't enjoy this, and turn it off?
Uh, I don't see it that way as much. I think you can learn
Mm,
from bad, like poorly made. I don't want to say bad because that's very sweeping. Like poorly made in the sense of like the end product probably wasn't what the developer intended it to be.
Yeah.
Because I like no artist is going out with the intention of like, I'm gonna make the shittiest thing ever made. That's silly. They like, and like, even when they intentionally make it shit, they're putting effort into doing that so that it's like it wraps back around to being good, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I saw maybe like 20-30 minutes of it and I didn't like it, but like Borat, like that was intentionally made to be as offensive and crass as possible.
Right.
And as bad as it can be, and it wraps back around to being good for the people that enjoy that sort of thing. So it's like,
Right.
you know, like
Yeah.
it just kind of teaches you what, when you see that sort of stuff that you don't like, it's not something to be necessarily scared of. It's just like it tells you more of who you are and
Yeah.
what you want out of things, and
Yeah.
it's a learning experience basically.
Yeah. How dare you be absolutely sane and rational about all this? You're supposed to be up on a soapbox yelling and screaming about it.
I've had a lot of time to think about it.
Well, I mean that makes a load of sense because you couple that with the fact that you look at whether it's a game or whether it's a movie or whether it's a television show or something else, even a meme or TikTok something or other. Maybe you're not the target audience.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to be
I
said for
think
that.
I think that's a very astute observation, because I think the media that appeals to the most people, or tries to, generally isn't the best. Like, it tries to be, because it's trying to basically make money. Like,
Right.
people talk about like, oh, the new Star Wars is like woke, and that's the problem. The problem with modern Star Wars is it's trying to just treat all of these characters as action figures,
Mm.
and just like ways to sell actual action figures. They just bash shit together to get people to give them their money. That's all they care about.
Yeah.
They are basically trying to do mass appeal stuff without any substance or anything to say or do. And
Yeah.
that's what pisses me off the most. That's the kind of art that does get me up on a soapbox and yelling and shit, because it's like, you're saying nothing. And I think as an artist, as somebody with as much money as Disney has, you should be able to try and say something. But no, they want to
Yeah, but
pad their quarterly margins or whatever the fuck.
yeah, but when you talk about Disney, you got to remember this, and this is going to make a lot of Disney people really angry at me. But okay, fine, whatever, come get me. Um, that Disney is also the company that put out the direct to VCR DVD Snow White 4. You,
Right.
I mean, the princesses gather. I mean, this type of thing. Just just throw it off the cuff stuff that collectors will buy because it says Disney on it, or it
Yeah.
kind of has the Snow White character from the 1930s when it first came out in there, and and people will buy it because it's there. It's not because it's any good. It's like those Barbie games or something. But
They're basically buying it for the value of the name attached to it, more than any artistic quality
right.
that's attached.
And then when they go home and
Um,
play it, like, why aren't I buying this? Yeah, well,
yeah,
it's
like for me, I just I think I think if you're gonna say, like, just say something, and you're gonna be,
yeah,
yeah, you will be excluding some people from the audience that will buy your stuff
yeah,
if you go to say something. But like,
yeah,
so be it. That's how life works. You're not,
yeah,
if you try and be like absolutely like centrist, fence sitting, very milk toast, just to try and agree with everyone, no one's gonna like you. You're gonna come across as desperate for attention.
hmm,
You gotta have values and shit, say something,
yeah.
and people are gonna hate you for it. So be it, whatever.
Hey,
That's their problem.
I was a sports talk show host. I know how that goes.
Yeah,
Eh,
like,
You're going to get it from somebody. Uh, it,
uh-huh.
and I always try to think, think in three dimensions a little bit instead of two.
Hmm.
Maybe it's not left, right, up, down, red, green. Maybe it's something in the middle, or something a little here and over to the right a little bit, or up and deep. uh,
Yeah, it's not just like a scale, it's a spectrum of things.
yeah, yeah, and that's not always easy to do. But then again, I mean, one of my favorite films. I don't think I said this. There's two films that are right on the top. Number one is Duck Soup, um, Groucho Marx. I can watch that all day. Um, Number two, in a movie that I have in fact watched all day, is The Blues Brothers.
Ah,
It came
yeah, I
out.
saw that once in a hotel.
Oh, it just they actually filmed some of that where I live now, which is actually cut out of the movie. Um, but they came out with Blues Brothers 2000,
I've heard about this.
and there was no way in on this any other planet, any dimension, any level of hell that I would sit and watch that film.
I've
And,
I've heard things about it, and they haven't exactly been glowing reviews.
yeah, but it was just as cynical as possibly could be, and it was jammed out there because here we got a chance to beat this franchise to death, or try to make it a franchise. Um, and that takes so much heart out of what you're trying to do. In games, you're working on developing games, and I imagine you're
Mhm.
doing it from an independent standpoint. Um,
That is correct.
there are so many games now. Most of the best ones I see out are the ones done by smaller or independent game makers because that corporate mentality is gone. You don't
Yeah,
have to talk to shareholders about, oh, is this going to be okay with the you know crowd in this country? Nope, this you're just doing it because that's your idea.
yeah. It gives me and the folks that I'm working with a lot of freedom to just kind of air our ideas of what we want, what we like believe in and stuff,
Hmm.
and what we think of like, hey, this is a good game idea, and we don't gotta like put in like a progression tree or whatever if we don't want to. If we want to in some future game, if we decide, hey, this is a good idea, then we can, but that's our choice, and it's not um we're not required to make it open world. We're not required to make it look photoreal. We're not required to have like, you know, to use like Unreal Engine 5 and
Yeah,
brick everybody's PCs with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's another thing too. And I don't want to offend anybody's artistic because I'll do that. I can draw a stick figure and do that. But the not every game needs the best artwork. You mentioned that yourself a little earlier.
Mm,
A game like uh, Stardew Valley, for example, because I played a million times. That doesn't need super graphics. It's got perfect graphics for the type of game it is. And
yeah, it's very simple and it looks very pretty for the style that it's going for.
yeah, it's done well
Just
for the
like,
style.
yeah, it's done well with the kind of self-imposed limitations that they put
Yeah,
on themselves, and it looks great.
yeah,
And then I think we're kind of starting to hit a plateau, or maybe we're already here, of just like how realistic graphics can look, and it's
yeah,
just like it looks nice, it looks really nice, but I mean, I I do find myself coming back to stuff that's like, Kingdom Hearts or
hmm,
Killer 7 or
yeah.
um even games that I haven't played that I think look really pretty, like Okami
Hmm.
or other stuff like
Oh
that.
well, that yeah,
They look
you're
freaking
talking.
fantastic.
That's a whole nother. That's like a whole nother universe, isn't it? The Okami game.
Yeah,
It's and that's an example where somebody went off in a whole nother direction and created something. I think that game would be beautiful if it wasn't a game. It was just something
yeah.
you could watch. Um, so for you, what would be the perfect comfort game for you
The
at this
perfect
point?
comfort game for me.
Hmm.
Oh shit, that is a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know because I kind of already have it in the form of like Kingdom Hearts 1.
Hmm.
It's really like it's the simple game once you've already played it through once, like, and as somebody who just latches onto a game like a little leech, and I just like absorb every little like bit of knowledge and detail from it.
Yeah.
Um it's not it's something that I've pretty thoroughly explored at this point, but I'd still love to come back to it and just play it because it's like super cozy, super comforting. I can play it when it's like, the internet's out. It's late at night, it's raining. Some guy probably like slammed into a telephone pole and knocked out the internet. That's why we're in this situation. And it's like, hey, I just need to like play a game to just relax because I can't be getting like, a whole lot of work and stuff done because I need the internet for that.
Right.
So I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna play this game, and it's just really cozy. I love how the gameplay feels, the platforming, the puzzle stuff, the combat. It's all really fun.
Yeah.
Exploration is great.
Yeah.
I'm not even like a super crazy Disney fan or whatever.
Right.
I grew up with like Wall-E, which has, as far as I know, probably won't be making it into any Kingdom Hearts games.
Yeah.
But it's like that's the one that I grew up with when it comes to Disney. It's like Wall-E.
I got a story on Wall-E. Oh my gosh. My wife and I, when she was able to work, we worked different shifts. She worked daytime, I worked nighttime. And when she come home and go to bed, she would put Wall-E in the VCR because she always goes to sleep during the movies. And for a good month, every time I come home, I would have the last credits for Wall-E playing on the computer. And
fun.
And the music coming home, I go, Wall-E again. I've seen this a million times. I love the movie, but just not that part of the DVD. I don't particularly care for.
Yeah, that's probably how my mom felt when I was watching the thing on repeat when I was a little kid.
Yep.
I was actually scared of the I was a very scared child when I was growing up. I was terrified of the DVD menu for Wall-E because it's like a first person view from his optics.
Yeah.
And it's making these like weird mechanical servo noises and stuff, and there's like this creepy droning in the back, and I'm like, I'm scared. I don't want to watch this. I'm scared.
That's very. I can imagine that. I can certainly imagine. And I have to say this about Wall-E. I loved the movie. Would watch it again. I'm so glad they didn't drive it into the ground. Please don't do it. Don't make.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy if they just keep making like shitty Disneyland couple T-shirts with Wall-E and Eve on them, and they just never make a second movie. Please, never make a second movie. I'm begging you.
It doesn't need to. Let us have our imagination as to what happens to them afterwards.
Yeah. Same with like Ratatouille as well. Just leave it as is.
Yeah, it doesn't need to have, we don't need to have Blues Brothers 2030.
Yeah.
It was bad enough, or Ghostbusters 9.5. We don't need that. It's perfectly fine. And that lack of
they released a Ghostbusters movie recently. I didn't even know it came out. Like it advertised, it released in theaters, and it came to digital and like physical release and stuff, and I had no clue it even existed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know the latest Jurassic Park movie was even coming out until I saw it on a Dr. Pepper can. I'm like, what the hell is this?
See, the old advertisement still works every once in a while. Stick it on a can, never deals yet.
Yeah, I mean, still didn't get me to go watch it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a lack of creativity, but there are times when I want to watch a movie or play a game just to see things blow up.
That's true.
My stepdaughter and I, we went to see Transformers 2. We didn't go for the plot. Let's go watch a movie blow up.
The plot was kind of all over the place, but it sure was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to see machines blow up. That's what we went for, and did not disappoint. And sometimes I think games are that way too. Since you are a developer, what would you say would be the genre of developing? What is in your wheelhouse as far as that goes?
I would probably say I like it's kind of a mix of stuff that I like. I've just kind of learned it as I went along, and I'm still learning. Like I have game dev in my Blue Sky bio, but I'm not like 100% like, oh, I've got like 400 games that I've made under my belt. I have years of experience. I've been doing this since I popped out the womb, since I was doing cartwheels on my dad's nutsack. Nothing like that. I have been basically trying to learn as much about this stuff as I can since I was like 13, 14. And now that I have friends that actually have some experience with it, they've been helping me through the process. And um, it's been very helpful and informative. And I suppose in regards to what sort of stuff I would make, what's in my wheelhouse, I guess the jury's still out on that, but probably leaning something just like third person, some kind of game in 3D with I like a good narrative experience, but like not overly focused on it where it's just trying really hard to be a movie and not be a game, because
Right.
I like games that feel like games and have that capitalize on the unique ways that a player can interface with the story you're trying to tell
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's a game, because you're interacting with it. It's not just
Yeah.
watching something unfold like The Last of Us is very much. I'm sure that those games are very well made, but they are very, very intent on it just being kind of a narrative experience that can actually work really well as an adaptation, because it's like they're not really capitalizing on it being a game that you're playing
Right.
so much as you're kind of watching the events unfold. I like
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
They're funneling you to the end. It is
sort of.
yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah, where it's just you I like there's games like, like Metal Gear Solid have like very weird and esoteric, unique ways to interact with the story and with what's going on in the game that can only be done in that medium. Same with stuff like Suda 51 games, etc., where they do have crazy, affecting and amazing plots and stuff like that, stories, but they play to the strengths of the medium really well. Toby Fox's games,
oh yes.
Deltarune and Undertale,
Yeah.
very much that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They those cannot work in a like an adapted setting. Those have to be as a game in order to work.
Yeah.
And I love that shit.
And
So
the way that is presented and the art the way it was and the whole the whole early 1980s look of it, Commodore 64 look almost, is perfect for it. He really,
yeah,
it's a brilliant thing on his part to come up with it, and so many people love it that
yeah, and with Deltarune in the later chapters, you find like weird. It kind of starts to throw you for a loop because you do start with that sort of like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis sort of look with
yeah
the graphics. It
yeah
looks really nice and pretty, and it all stays generally pretty contained to that style. And then in chapter 3, like um a certain character shows up and it's just like, wait, you're like a 3D rendered character, what the fuck is going on? Oh wait, I'm getting thrown for a loop, and it starts messing with your head a little bit, and it's like it's showing kind of, I guess, in a, how do we put this, it's illustrating the kind of uh abstract nature of the dark worlds in like a very unique way, rather than it just being like, oh, we're gonna do that by just saying that these things are getting weirder and weirder as time goes on. We're just gonna show it
right
by throwing you for a loop.
yeah.
And I like that kind of shit. It's really cool.
And that's the type of stuff you wouldn't see in any super corporate game. It wouldn't say, oh, you're going to lose everybody by doing that. Just keep with what just do with what brought you here. And that's that. And well, it works for some things, but not for others. For you though, I want to know this about you
Yeah.
and being on. Talking with you this time, it was very easy to talk with you, very very personable, and I could see this doing really really well for you.
Well, thank you.
Are you this way off the net?
I mean, it depends on. I'm sort of. I would say, I don't want to say like I'm a chameleon, but I definitely open up really fast to people that I feel comfortable around.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it's somebody that it's like, very approachable or isn't like immediately kind of hostile in their ways of things. Because I worked at like I worked retail or like food service for a while, right?
Ouch.
So I've met some nasty people where, like, basically just the way that they carry themselves has a sort of bite to it, like an almost inherent hostility.
Right.
Those kind of people I wouldn't talk to. I'd have a customer service face and then, turn around and go back to my business and go, man, that person was a bitch. But then to everybody else that's, just like a normal human being and doesn't have the soul sucked out of them by the capitalist machine, I would be a lot more comfortable just having a chat like this, right?
Yeah.
I think I'd do well in a bartender setting, basically.
Well, it's like I said, it's kind of that campfire, everybody on the same table type thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you mentioned kind of yourself a little bit that you were kind of scared as a kid. When you started getting into art and getting into wanting to do the game development thing, did that kind of bring that more gregarious person out in you?
I would say so. Yeah, I started to meet people online. There were some bad experiences, but I won't speak on those here. Um, but yeah, like as time went on, I kind of started to meet better and better people, and I've got a really really good group of friends now. Shout outs to Box Gang if you're watching this. They probably won't have time to watch an hour and a half long interview, but hey, if you do, if you guys do, hi, hello.
Shout out anybody you want.
Yeah. But yeah, like I am. Where was I? Yeah. So I'm a little bit scatterbrained tonight. I think I woke up. Oh God, when did I wake up? About like 5-6 hours ago.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. I'm always scatterbrained. And the older I get, the more space my brain covers, but it's also a lot thinner.
Yeah, I get you.
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember. Basically as I kind of met more people and kind of started to figure out more about myself, I just kind of naturally opened up.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I did a little bit of YouTube for a bit. And that did help me to it kind of forced me to open up, because with that it was like I had to write good scripts. I had to write funny scripts. And in order to do that, I couldn't just be like, closed off and timid and stuff. I had to be more outgoing and silly. And I had to kind of sort of play up certain aspects about myself that I wanted to kind of blossom, but I didn't necessarily have the chances to before. So I kind of was just like, it's like I find this like little seed or something that's just trying to sprout, and then I take it and I put it in its own pot and I give it a bunch of sunlight and water. It's like, I'm gonna make you grow, damn it. You're beautiful. Kind of forced it into being. I don't know, that's how I'd put it right now. I'll probably change my answer if you ask me again.
Well, I think it makes sense, because given the VTuber field right now is still very fertile as far as that goes. It's still, people are saying about all the highs and lows. It hasn't even started to reach an audience yet, as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned. There are millions of people who would enjoy what they find on Twitch, and someday something that they would enjoy that they don't even know exists yet. So it's still out there, and there's still a lot of people that would exist. And the fact that you get to come on here and show the talents that you have and meet people and expand your world. Your world's getting bigger even as the entire world's getting smaller. Is amazing. It's something that 40 years ago, way back in the Stone Age, we wouldn't have had any opportunity to do, and it would cost us $1 million if I tried to do something like that. And even 20 years ago, it wouldn't have happened. So now you've got people who will be there for you online in other parts of the world because of you and your personality. How does that hit you?
It's kind of fucking nuts, yeah, because it makes sense that the people that I have found, that we have that connection, that we like each other. It's just like the fact that having the capacity to do that in the first place is like really crazy. Because like, I mean, even like 30 years ago or something, you would go on like a little school field trip or something to like a couple towns over or something. You'd meet maybe somebody like your age, and then you think like, wow, you're like my best friend now. It's gonna be so cool. Let's talk. And then it all kind of hits you on the bus ride back to your town. It's like, I'm never gonna see that person again, and you're just hit with that melancholy.
Exactly. Yes.
You don't get that with the internet. You can just chat them up whenever. Like one of my, in regards to the game dev stuff in my server, one of she's worked with me on this couple projects of mine, and then is my head moderator. So shout outs to Monica or Jody.
Mm-hmm.
She is off in like Australia, and we're able to talk, and that's like fucking nuts, because you wouldn't think that, right? That's like literally the other side of the world from like, you know, North America. So
they're standing upside down from you right now.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
But I can just do that.
Yeah. It's if I could start radio again in 1984 and have the chance to talk to people on the air just by picking up the microphone who were standing in Singapore like I did the other day. First of all, it would have sounded crappy. It would have been all phone lines, landlines. It had been terrible. And it would cost an absolute mint. And I would have been fired for even trying it. Now I could just pick up the microphone and do that, which is pretty nuts. But the great part about this for me is I get to meet folks like yourself, really talented folks who are on doing stuff and making things better and wanting to make people around them better. My hat's off to you for that.
Well, thank you.
And I think it's well within your reach to keep going. Very talented person, obviously great personality, and a very unique person to have on here. We're good to have you here. It's good that you're doing this.
Well, it's very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully we can get you on again sometime, and we'll talk more about, especially when you get some of them games in the works, because we'll get you some pub for that when they're ready to go. But we're gonna have all of the links if you want to see what Penny's got going on in the description for the video. Thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, it's just absolute wonderful experience talking with you.
Yes, likewise. It's been very fun. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.